My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. People rarely lose respect for you in one dramatic moment. It disappears quietly. Every time you over-explain, beg for approval, tolerate disrespect, or abandon who you are just to keep someone. And the hardest truth is this: you may already have one of these habits without realizing it. Stay until the end, because the habit you ignore today may be the reason people keep treating you like you are easy to lose. 1. Over-explaining yourself until people stop taking you seriously. Over-explaining yourself can slowly make people stop taking your words seriously. When you defend every choice, explain every emotion, and repeatedly prove your intentions, you unknowingly show that you doubt your own decisions. Confidence does not argue endlessly. It speaks clearly and stands firm. You do not owe everyone an explanation for your boundaries, silence, or personal choices. Say what is necessary, trust yourself, and let your actions speak. When you stop begging to be understood, people begin to recognize your strength. 2. Sacrificing your dignity just to keep others happy. There comes a moment when kindness stops being kindness and becomes self-betrayal. It happens when you keep saying yes while your heart is exhausted, remain silent when someone crosses your boundaries, and accept behavior that makes you feel small simply because you are afraid of disappointing people. You may believe that sacrificing yourself will make others love, appreciate, or respect you more. But the opposite often happens. When people learn that you will tolerate anything to keep them comfortable, they begin to treat your feelings as if they do not matter. Your dignity is not something you should trade for attention, acceptance, or temporary peace. Real respect begins when you stop abandoning your needs to protect everyone else's emotions. You are allowed to say no without writing a long apology. You are allowed to leave situations that repeatedly hurt you. You are allowed to choose your peace even when others call you selfish for it. A strong woman can be loving without becoming easy to use. She can care deeply while still protecting her standards. The moment you stop sacrificing your dignity to keep others happy, you teach people that being part of your life requires respect. Some may become upset when you change, but that does not mean you are wrong. It only means they were benefiting from the version of you who never chose herself. 3. Begging for validation from people who never valued you. One of the most painful habits is constantly looking for approval from people who have already decided not to see your worth. You work harder, give more, stay quieter, and change parts of yourself, hoping that one day they will finally appreciate you. You wait for their compliments, their attention, or one small sign that proves you matter. But every time they remain distant, you begin questioning yourself instead of questioning why their opinion has so much power over you. Validation becomes dangerous when it controls how you feel about yourself. If praise makes you feel worthy and silence makes you feel invisible, then your confidence is no longer in your hands. You have given other people permission to decide whether you are beautiful enough, talented enough, lovable enough, or important enough. No woman can feel truly free while her self-worth depends on someone else's changing mood. Some people will never value you, no matter how much of yourself you sacrifice. They may notice everything you do and still refuse to acknowledge it because your insecurity benefits them. As long as you keep chasing their approval, they know they can offer you the smallest amount of attention and still keep you trying. That is not love, friendship, or respect. It is a cycle that teaches you to survive on crumbs while giving away your whole heart. You must stop asking people to confirm what you should already know. Your value does not increase when someone praises you, and it does not disappear when someone overlooks you. You were worthy before they noticed you, and you remain worthy even when they walk away. Real confidence begins when you stop performing for acceptance and start living according to your own values. This does not mean you will never care what anyone thinks. It means you will no longer let every opinion become a judgment against your identity. Listen to people who genuinely care about your growth, but do not confuse criticism with truth or attention with love. Not everyone deserves a voice in how you see yourself. The moment you stop begging for validation, something powerful changes. You speak with greater certainty, make decisions without apologizing, and stop chasing people who only value you when you are useful to them. You become calmer because you no longer need to prove yourself in every room. The right people will recognize your worth without forcing you to earn basic respect. And the wrong people will lose the power to make you doubt who you are. 4. Tolerating disrespect because you are afraid to walk away. Sometimes you know exactly when someone has crossed the line. You feel it in the way their words stay in your mind, the way your confidence becomes smaller around them, and the way you begin rehearsing simple conversations because you are afraid of upsetting them. Yet instead of speaking up, you stay silent. You forgive without receiving an apology, accept excuses that never lead to change, and convince yourself that keeping the relationship is more important than protecting your dignity. You may tell yourself that they are stressed, misunderstood, or going through a difficult time. You keep focusing on their good moments while ignoring the pattern that continues to hurt you. Deep inside, however, you are not tolerating disrespect because you do not recognize it. You are tolerating it because you are afraid of what might happen when you finally say, "This is not acceptable anymore." Perhaps you are afraid of being alone. Perhaps you have invested years into the connection and cannot imagine beginning again without them. Maybe you believe walking away would mean that you failed, or you fear they will replace you and give someone else the love you kept waiting to receive. These fears can keep you attached to people who repeatedly damage your peace. But staying somewhere that destroys your self-respect is not loyalty. It is abandoning yourself to avoid temporary pain. Every time you accept disrespect without consequences, you silently teach that person how much mistreatment you are willing to survive. They learn that they can ignore your feelings, break their promises, embarrass you, or disappear whenever they choose, and you will still be there when they return. Your forgiveness becomes something they expect rather than something they appreciate. Your patience becomes permission, and your fear of losing them becomes the reason they stop fearing the loss of you. This does not mean you should end every relationship after one mistake. People are imperfect, and meaningful connections require communication, patience, and forgiveness. The difference is whether someone takes responsibility and makes a sincere effort to change. A mistake followed by accountability is different from a repeated pattern followed by empty apologies. Do not judge people only by what they promise after hurting you. Watch what they repeatedly choose after they know their behavior causes you pain. You deserve relationships in which you can express your feelings without being mocked, punished, or called too sensitive. You deserve to say no without being manipulated. You deserve to have boundaries without someone treating them like personal attacks. Anyone who truly values you may not always understand your limits immediately, but they will care enough to respect them. Someone who becomes angry because you finally develop boundaries was often benefiting from your lack of them. Walking away does not mean that you stop caring. Sometimes you leave precisely because you must begin caring about yourself. You can love someone and still recognize that their presence is harmful. You can remember beautiful moments and still accept that the relationship has become unhealthy. You can forgive them in your heart without giving them unlimited access to your life. Forgiveness releases bitterness, but it does not require you to return to the same place that broke you. Do not wait until someone completely destroys your confidence before deciding that enough is enough. Disrespect rarely begins with the worst behavior. It often starts with small insults disguised as jokes, ignored boundaries, broken promises, and moments that make you question whether you are overreacting. When these actions are repeatedly dismissed, they grow stronger. What you tolerate today can become the standard you are forced to live with tomorrow. The first time you stand up for yourself may feel uncomfortable because you are breaking a habit that once kept other people comfortable. Your voice may shake, your heart may race, and guilt may try to convince you that you are being cruel. But protecting your dignity is not cruelty. Saying you cannot speak to me this way is not disrespectful. Refusing to remain in a harmful situation is not selfish. The discomfort of setting a boundary is temporary, but the pain of constantly betraying yourself can last for years. You may lose people when you begin demanding respect, but look honestly at what you are losing. Are you losing genuine love, or are you losing someone's ability to control you? Are you losing a healthy connection, or are you losing the exhausting responsibility of proving that you deserve basic kindness? Not every departure is a tragedy. Some endings are protection. Some goodbyes return the confidence you sacrificed while trying to make the relationship survive. A powerful woman does not stay where she must beg for decency. She does not keep explaining why disrespect hurts her to someone who already understands but continues anyway. She gives people opportunities to improve, but she does not give them endless chances to repeat the same wound. She knows that walking away can hurt, yet she also knows that staying where she is constantly diminished will eventually make her forget who she is. Never let the fear of losing another person become greater than the fear of losing yourself. People may leave, relationships may end, and familiar chapters may close, but your dignity must remain with you. The moment you decide that access to your life requires respect, your entire presence changes. You stop appearing desperate to be kept, and you begin carrying yourself like someone who knows that being alone is far better than being repeatedly disrespected. 5. Changing who you are to earn acceptance from the wrong people. One of the quietest ways to lose respect is to keep changing yourself so other people will accept you. At first, it may seem harmless. You hide an opinion because you do not want to create tension. Laugh at something that actually hurts you. Dress differently to avoid judgment, or pretend to enjoy things that make you uncomfortable. You tell yourself that you are simply adjusting, but over time, these small changes begin pulling you farther away from the person you truly are. You start studying everyone around you before expressing yourself. You ask what version of you will be easiest for them to love, approve of, or keep. Around one person, you become quieter. Around another, you pretend to be stronger than you feel. In some relationships, you hide your dreams because they make others insecure. In others, you make yourself smaller so nobody feels threatened by your confidence. Eventually, you become so focused on being acceptable that you no longer know what feels honest. The tragedy is that pretending does not create real acceptance. It creates attachment to a version of you that does not exist. People may praise the personality you perform, but their approval will never make you feel secure because you know they are not seeing your complete truth. Their love begins feeling conditional. You wonder whether they would stay if you stopped agreeing, stopped pleasing, and show them the parts of yourself you have been hiding. That is not freedom. It is emotional exhaustion. Every healthy relationship requires flexibility, maturity, and compromise, but compromise should never demand the destruction of your identity. There is a difference between becoming a better person and becoming a different person just to avoid rejection. Growth makes you feel more connected to yourself. Pretending makes you feel like a stranger inside your own life. You should never have to silence your intelligence so someone else can feel important. You should not hide your sensitivity because people call it weakness. You should not abandon your values to remain included in a group that only welcomes you when you agree with everything they do. Anyone who requires you to betray yourself before offering acceptance is not giving you love. They are offering you a place that can only be kept through self-abandonment. Sometimes this habit begins because of earlier rejection. Perhaps you were criticized whenever you expressed yourself, ignored when you needed comfort, or made to believe that love had to be earned through perfect behavior. You learned to read the room before reading your own heart. You became skilled at becoming what others needed because you feared that being yourself would never be enough. But the survival habits that protected you in the past can imprison you in the present. You may have learned to stay agreeable to avoid conflict, but now that habit prevents you from setting boundaries. You may have learned to hide your emotions to avoid being judged, but now nobody knows when you are hurting. You may have learned to make everyone else comfortable, but now you feel invisible in every relationship. What once kept you safe may now be keeping you disconnected from your own identity. You must understand that being rejected for who you truly are is painful, But being accepted for someone you are pretending to be is even more painful. Rejection gives you the truth and allows you to move forward. False acceptance keeps you trapped, constantly performing and terrified that one honest moment will make everything disappear. You cannot build confidence while apologizing for your personality. You cannot develop self-respect while changing your values according to the people in front of you. You cannot create a meaningful life while asking everyone else who you are allowed to become. At some point, you must stop requesting permission to exist honestly. This does not mean becoming stubborn or refusing to improve. A strong woman listens, learns, admits her mistakes, and changes harmful behavior. But she changes because she recognizes the need for growth, not because someone threatens to withdraw affection whenever she does not obey. She can receive guidance without surrendering her identity. She can evolve without becoming a copy of what others expect. Pay attention to how you feel around people. Do you feel relaxed enough to speak naturally, or do you carefully measure every word? Can you celebrate your achievements, or must you hide them to protect someone's ego? Can you express disappointment without fearing punishment? Can you say no without believing the relationship will end? Your body often recognizes unsafe acceptance before your mind is ready to admit it. The right people will not require perfection from you. They will allow you to have different opinions, complicated emotions, changing dreams, and imperfect moments. They will not love only the convenient parts of you. They may challenge you, but their challenge will help you grow rather than make you ashamed of who you are. They will not ask you to become smaller so they can feel bigger. The wrong people, however, will make acceptance feel like a prize you must continually earn. They will be warm when you agree and distant when you speak for yourself. They will compliment your kindness while taking advantage of it. They will call you difficult the moment you introduce boundaries. They will make you feel guilty for changing, especially when your growth makes you harder to control. When you notice this pattern, do not work harder to prove that you deserve a place in their lives. Ask yourself why you are fighting to stay somewhere that cannot hold the real you. You do not need to become colder, louder, or more impressive to earn respect. You need to become more honest. Let your yes be real and let your no carry meaning. Stop pretending that something does not hurt when it does. Stop laughing at disrespect to appear easygoing. Stop hiding your ambitions because others are uncomfortable with your potential. Stop acting like you need less love, effort, and honesty than you actually deserve. Every time you express yourself truthfully, you rebuild trust with your own heart. Every boundary reminds you that your needs matter. Every honest decision brings you closer to a life that actually belongs to you. At first, authenticity may feel frightening because it removes the protection of pretending, but with time it creates something much stronger than approval: inner peace. Some people may leave when you stop performing for them. Let their departure reveal the truth. Anyone who only loved your silence, obedience, or insecurity was not connected to your full identity. You did not lose genuine acceptance. You lost a role you were exhausted from playing. And yes, there may be lonely moments while you are learning to become yourself again. You may question whether honesty is worth the relationships it changes, but loneliness in your truth is healthier than belonging in a place where you must disappear. Temporary solitude can teach you what constant approval never could: that your own company becomes peaceful when you stop rejecting yourself. The most respected version of you will not be the woman who satisfies every expectation. She will be the woman whose actions match her values, whose words reflect her truth, and whose identity does not change whenever someone disapproves. She will understand that not everyone has to like her, because being liked by everyone often requires becoming nothing definite at all. You were not born to become a different person in every room. You were not given a voice so you could spend your life silencing it. You were not meant to trade your identity for temporary attention from people who would never value the sacrifices you made to keep them. Become someone you can respect when nobody is watching. Choose clothes, dreams, friendships, and decisions that feel honest to your soul. Allow people to misunderstand you rather than constantly misunderstanding yourself. Let them call you different, serious, sensitive, ambitious, or difficult. Their labels cannot damage a woman who has finally decided to define herself. The moment you stop changing who you are to earn acceptance from the wrong people, you regain something far more valuable than their approval. You regain your voice, your confidence, your dignity, and your freedom. You begin attracting relationships in which you do not have to perform, and you finally experience what true acceptance feels like. Never sacrifice your identity just to remain welcome in someone else's life. The right people will not ask you to disappear before they decide to stay. Respect does not begin with how loudly you speak. It begins with what you are no longer willing to tolerate. The moment you stop over-explaining, stop sacrificing your dignity, stop begging for validation, stop accepting disrespect, and stop changing yourself for the wrong people, something powerful happens. You stop asking the world to see your worth because you finally see it yourself. Some people may become uncomfortable when you change. Let them. The version of you they could control was never the strongest version of you. From this moment forward, do not make yourself smaller to be accepted. Do not remain silent to keep someone comfortable. Do not stay where your heart, confidence, and dignity are slowly disappearing. Walk into every room knowing this. Your value is not decided by who chooses you, praises you, or stays with you. Your value is revealed by the way you choose, protect, and respect yourself. So ask yourself one final question. Which habit will you leave behind today? Because the woman who removes these habits does not just earn more respect from others, she becomes someone she can finally respect in the mirror. Subscribe to RM Inspired Life, and remember, never lose yourself just to keep someone who never truly valued you.